Hi, my beautiful brothers and sisters. This is Mary Hernandez with Genesis Kingdom, Part 1. And today's title, I picked the 12 Stones of Israel. I got the amazing revelation. I've done on here before where I've given you the testimony that when Mother was telling me, it's a woman's covet, and here and there I could see her. But I said, help me see it so I could preach it. And then slowly she's been giving me revelation. And I said, because like with Israel, we had to go to Amos 5 to find out that it's a daughter. Jacob is Jacob. But Israel, he had stolen Israel's inheritance. It wasn't his brother Esau, it was his sister. But when you read it, you find out that Israel's a daughter, and that's in Amos 5. Well, it's always been a woman's covet. If you got a chance to see Da Vinci Code, it gives you a lot of revelation, but it also gives you, remember I told you he was saying a lot of words like Madonna rocks, Da Vinci Code, stones, and he had said rock. And remember when I told you that I had went up and I started searching, I was crossing out all the words that he said. I was even rewinding, writing down the words that he was saying. And when he had said rock, I was thinking when I read it, and I even did one on it, that remember when he says, in this church I will build, in this church I will build, in this hill I will build my rock, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Well, then I was like, oh, okay, well then it means rock, and it was, and stones. I mistook it because I looked up stones, and it brought me where it shows the stones as somebody that has like 12 stones. Well, it's daughters. It's a phantom, it's a woman's covet. It's a phantom covet, all of it. And if you see the woman's covet, it's the uterus. That's where it talks about the matrix in the Bible. That you're the holy Jeril. The daughters are all 12 tribes are the holy Jeril. So they added men that they made it into he. So you don't know who you are, but it's in there. And I was all like, man, help me see it. Well, I remember when I told you I looked it up, stones, I was like, man, help me see it because I wasn't, understanding. Well, I had taken a screenshot of it, and there's even a date in here that when it was. And it brought me, when you look it up, what are the 12 stones of Israel? Because she gave me the daughters to go and pray over them, bring them home into the land flowing with milk and honey. It's a woman's covet, and there's Bible verses to back it up. Now, that's how the man came up with the 12 apostles. But in Revelation, I read you, I believe it's 21 or 22, that tells you these are the people that say, you got Matthew, you got all of them that said that they're covet of God, that they're the ones. No, that was the covet of Satan. Joshua is the one that was helping with Mother Yahweh, leading us into the promised land. And that's when he gave us over Jericho. It's you, it's daughters. All 12 congregations and the daughters are on the way. She refers to you as stones. You're precious stones to her. You're beautiful stones. And it brought me, and it's in the Bible. And I had taken a screenshot of it. And I don't know if you could see it. I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger. This is 12 Stones of Israel. And I had taken it. Well, I passed it once and then second time. And then I said, well, I'm going to go look up, see what that means. So I went in there. And you always have to do, I did one of the names, and I did Berakath Bible. It says Hebrew Bible meaning, or you could just do Bible meaning. And it brings you, and it refers to a stone. But you have to do your drop down. And you also have to use your discernment. Because we got the enemy. Remember I had told you when they showed on Da Vinci Code that it had no cup? Well, I also took a picture of that, when I did the study on it. And when I went to go look at last night for it, and here it is. You see it. There is no cup. There he is. There's no cups. And now when you go research it, and I got dates on that when I did it, now they put a cup in the center of it because the enemy is a deceiver. He doesn't want the daughters to know who you are. He doesn't want you to. If you think this is a fight with each other, then you have it all. He has you. And he wants you to see it like that. He wants you to see each other as an enemy so you don't walk into your inheritance in the land flowing with milk and honey. We're praying our way through this battle, So then it brings me, and it's in the Bible. So then it brings me to explain to you when I had looked up chalice, because it says, you know, the Holy Grail it's the chalice, it's the vessel, it's the cup, it's the holy, you know, Grail, everything is, right? So I did a little bit of research, and in Ezekiel 37:1-14, always the only true maker, of course, is Mother Yahweh. What is the meaning of Ezekiel 37:1-14? Even in the face of death, Israel, hope in the future that is grounded in the sovereignty of Yahweh. Ezekiel 37:1-14, it is an invitation for hearers to see and hear Yahweh. Seeing and hearing also allows hearers to fully encounter Yahweh, to experience Yahweh's glory, to know Yahweh intimately, to bring you back in a relationship with her, not just her daughter, but this whole world, right? So then in Exodus 12 stones, I went ahead, and I'm going to post this on there, and to put in the 12 precious stones, because it's daughters. That's the daughter, and it's all your children. You know, remember from the very beginning, it shows that they were killing our husbands, and then we were staying, and it tells you not to mingle with the people on the way to the promised land. Sons, do not marry the daughters on that side. Daughters, do not marry the men on that side. Do not marry your children to this people. Why? Because we were walking through the valley of shadow of death, but it says, fear no evil, because thou art with me. Then it brings me to the scared chalice. Right here. And I did one in this, but I'm going inner. And they even have a books on this in his website. The scared chalice is about remarkable female characters in the Bible. What each woman represents within our soul is the Kabbalah, the scared phantom that describes a vessel that is inactive to protect the seed. The light of the scared is masculine, like a chalice is filled with wine. Later, she will pour out forth the contents of the chalice and give birth to all nature and life, in which she will nature. It is just the beginning. As you listen to their stories, that you will come to understand why only one scared phantom within the soul of human being, or the soul of civilization, is being received, the pure, endless, unknowable being of God, without trying to limit it or define it, but bring it to birth, an infinite abundance, a love to this world. The only scared phantom, through the pure and noetic intuition, can it reconnect us to the infinite, timeless, divine being, and lead us home. Without her, the spiritual involvement, and what do they call it? Involvement, ovulation. It is impossible. She is the key of the creation and return. And remember, when I went back, it took me to the Da Vinci Code in the Bible, and everything you have to always do: Bible meaning, Bible meaning, Bible verse, and then it'll bring you with the information. But you have to use your discernment too, because remember, the enemy had made it, and they try to make it a he, covet. It's always he, and none. And remember, yesterday I went over it with you that there's Bible verses that Jesus is telling you, hey, you're not from my flock. I was sent to you by judgment. Only thieves come to me that are robbers, thieves, and robbers. He's telling you. The Bible says it. And even the people were saying, you're the one that's with the devil, that we're not. He goes, I tell you, and you still don't believe me. Over and over again, he tells you, there's nobody to blame but yourself, because mother sends you somebody to tell you that, but you're being hard-headed because of the person that it is. You're not listening to the messenger. And if you're still fighting me, if you're still fighting a daughter of God, if you're still fighting a son that she sent you, the devil still has you. Still with that jealousy, mad. You're angry. Then I think I even heard a beautiful lady that was saying, man, they're still mad because they can't believe you're still getting blessed after everything they did to you. Really? What kind of noise is that? How dare you? We did everything to take you down and you're still getting blessed and you're still happy. You're still smiling. What did I should tell you? That the Most High God was always been with me, because I should have been already done. I should have been broken. I should have been depressed. I should have been suicidal, but she didn't. She keeps lifting me up. That's what it says. I am your strength in your weakness. I give power to the weak, increase strength to them. It's her, our maker, Yahweh. It's Mother God. Now, this is the Vinci Code, Christianity Bible. Supposedly the prior sons have hidden bones of Mary Magdalene. Together, numerous of documents proving this truth until the time is right. According, it says, to the Priory of Sion, according to the Da Vinci Code, the prior purpose of the Priory of Sion is maintain the truth about Jesus was married to Magdalene. But if you do, what does it say when Jesus said, this is my cup? But she was there. But he said, I'm a blood covenant. He's not a blood covenant. And yet he tells you that. He's not with Mary Magdalene. But it's a story that they're sitting there, enigma, a dogma, a cupcake dogma for you to believe that Jesus is Lord. However, you read the Bible, he tells you who he is. And you're not listening. You know, Mary Magdalene was the Holy Grail. And it tells you on there, you should really watch Da Vinci Code. And then this brings you all back to the Bible, And why did I leave the ones in there about bones? Because it goes with the message that I'm about to pray to you today. You know, my sermon. And in that, I'll leave that at the end, which what I have to close it up with. It says, okay, the Da Vinci that says about Christianity. The Da Vinci Code also alleged in early Christian view, Jesus was mere mortal. Unto the 4th century, the empire of Constantine pressured the Nicene Church to council that declared Jesus is both fully human and fully divine. It tells you over and over again. It says that does the Holy Grail symbolize the Da Vinci Code? It says connectively. According to the noble Da Vinci Code, the Holy Grail is the secret of Mary Magdalene as a holy woman and the symbol of noble womb. Again, the Holy Grail is the uterus. It's matrix in the church. I mean, it's it's matrix in the Bible, and it's in there. All of it is in there. You read it, Grail, holy. I mean, so many things: the stones, the rocks, the everything. Right? And I told you the Holy Spirit was telling me to watch that movie, and I've shared that testimony with you until I finally watched it, and I was like, oh, wow. And I started writing down as he's saying this words, and I went back and I looked, and it leads you back to the Bible. Back to the Bible. That's what she was telling me. You know, they make movies because they're based in true stories, but of course, always have to put a little twist of them in the way, you know, something to make it more excited or more like, whoa, you know, and it's whoa. And it says, for the noble womb, and this talks in page 2311, Mary Magdalene, containing the child of Jesus, who also was the royal blood. And we all know because the baby hasn't been born yet. No baby hasn't been born yet. I haven't known with nobody. The daughters are not supposed to be with anybody into the promised land. It hasn't happened. It's in Revelation 21. It's going to happen when we get to the land that is promised to us, flowing with milk and honey, that we're taking territory. And it tells you that in Revelation 12. That's the Messiah that's going to be born. It hasn't happened yet. And she's with nobody. There's no Jesus that prayed over her. There's no Jesus that's around. Nothing. All of it has been a false doctrine from the Roman Catholics, so you could believe that Jesus is Lord. Virgin Mary is holy. No, they're Satanists and Hellenists. And it tells you in Luke 3, Bible verse 23, it tells you that he's the grandfather of their Hellenists. And it brings you all right down to the beginning of that Adam, the fallen Adam. He was in hell. It's in there. You get it? But they have to twist it because they want you to believe it's Father, Son, and the daughters that you never existed. We don't need you. They were trying to get you out of the picture, the daughters. But who's the maker? Yahweh. She said, I don't think so. She was going to take over this world, they thought. She said, I don't think so. It's not your world. Right? So then Mary Magdalene at the Last Supper was at the heart of the controversy. The idea of Mary Magdalene's connection to Jesus is spiritual rather than romantic. For example, the filled virgin of the Last Supper, Mary Magdalene, is on the right seat of Jesus, the right hand. Why do they want to destroy the Holy Grail in the Da Vinci Code? And it tells you also in the movie. He adds a priory that was created to protect the descendants. Descendants, it's you. Daughters. All 144,000 is daughters on the way to the promised land. And there's a Bible verse to back it up. She calls each and one, the main one out of each tribe, she calls you a gem. You're known to her as a precious stone, and it's in Revelation. But since you know how they tended it to make it look more like he, you're not able to see it, but it's in there. Now it says, why do they want to destroy the Holy Grail in Da Vinci Code, right? He said he adds a priory is created to protect the descendants, while the Vatican's oppose the Dei. They seek to destroy the Grail to preserve their own credibility. That's why they're lying. Because if not, then the whole world's going to know this Jesus story that they did, it was false. They made up that story. The guy that's coming out here, yeah, his name is Jesus, but he's not of God. So they just ran with the story that is in there. The Messiah hasn't been born yet. The daughters are on the way to the promised land. We were dead to sin. She's healing us and cleansing us. And on the way into the promised land, we're passing states and cities. And she's also asking them, do you want to come back into covenant with me? She's not a blood covenant. She's a water covenant. If you live by the 10 commandments, stop sinning, she heals your land, and we go on to the next and X. Though we walk through the valley of shadow of death, we fear no evil, because so is with us, right? So they don't want to hurt that. So they'd rather take a lot of people to the pit of hell than to sit there and be like, hey, you know what? This is a false doctrine that we made. They don't want to do that because it hurts their credibility. So our biggest obstacle, it's the Roman Catholics, Caesar, all of them. They don't want to be known as liars, because then they're going to lose everybody in the church. And I pray that it does. I hope that it really does open their eyes, because that's the pathway to hell, because they're making men God. And it tells you that when I read John 10 yesterday. Go back and read it. Go back and look at my things. Take down notes. It's in there. And you can't get mad at Jesus that is out there telling you. He tells you nothing comes to me but thieves and robbers, people that climb over, not the people that are going. There's a shepherd that's trying to lead you this way, but the ones that come to me, that they're the ones that are climbing over, that are thieves and robbers. But he said, nothing comes to me by thieves and robbers. He's telling you. And some of you were even telling him, you're the one that's with devils. You have with devils. Get out of here. They even throw stands at him. He goes, I'm doing signs and wonders for you. He said, you're doing signs and wonders. They said, we're not throwing you for doing the good things. We're throwing you because you're saying you are God and you're a man. You're making yourself God. And he says, well, I tell you that, but you still. And does the Bible really say that you're not supposed to? Because you call yourself gods too out here in this world. Why are you getting mad at me? Yous are breaking that law. You know what I'm saying? And he's right. And he tells them, I read this Bible verse over to you yesterday, and he's absolutely right. So how can we sit there and say, whoa? And he said, I was sent to you for judgment. Still tells you that. I was sent to you for judgment. Because what did she say? I send you somebody you don't believe, so I'm going to send you a strong illusion that is going to do signs and wonders, and even the elect is going to fall for it. It's in there. Now, it says what the Bible of the Holy Grail, reference to the Bible. The holy chalice is also known as the Holy Grail. It is a Christian tradition, the vessel, and again they put Jesus used in the Last Supper to serve wine. Symbolic gospel refers to Jesus sharing the cup of wine with the apostles, saying that it was why Mary Magdalene is the Holy Grail, because it was her. It wasn't a cup. She's saying, this is my blood covenant, which is given up for you. Because if it would have happened that way, it would have been hell on earth, because it's not a blood covenant. We all would have perished. It literally would have been hell on earth, because we were on a blood covenant thinking Jesus is Lord. However, you read the Bible and he's telling you he's not, but you still don't want to listen. Now it says, why the legend claims that Mary Magdalene transported the actual chalice to France, another insists that Mary's body was also a scared vessel carrying the reel, a scared blood containing the bloodline of Christ, which is the anointed one. The words of Mary was literally the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail be Mary Magdalene, concluded the legendary of the Holy Grail stimulus of the womb of Mary Magdalene. It is scared of the royal bloodline that she gave birth to is Mary Magdalene, buried in Louvre. Mary Magdalene might be buried under Louvre. She's not in the book because we were all dry bones out there. And then went to the promised land, to the God of the living, because we were with the God of dead. We were dead to sin. And there's Bible verses to back it up. The Book of Brown alleges the remains of Mary Magdalene located in Louvre right under the peak, because they do talk about the peak, and if you see that movie, it does. But it tells you the Priory of Sion were watching that. What were they doing with Moses' bones watching that? So I have something to back it up with bones to help you understand what that means. That it could also, is Ezekiel, prophesied to the bones, let this bones live, because we were dead to sin. So it's on the way into the promised land, and we're going to be reborn again with the God of the living. This whole world is. This whole world's going to be healed, just like that. Louvre's underground shopping center, and the claim it to remains is uncertain. The Holy Grail suggests that Magdalene kings, the descendants of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, the descendants founded in Priory of Sion. The book argued the Knights Templar in order to really resist the 12th century originated military wing of the Priory of Sion. It says, and then it says Mary Magdalene, the Holy Grail, says the Holy Grail is a figure to the right of Jesus. It says commonly thought with John, but actually it's Mary Magdalene. Versions of the legend of the Holy Grail said that it is taken out of Jerusalem, hidden away in Europe for centuries. It's dry bones for centuries. In facts behind the fiction, it says Mary Magdalene's bones were buried, and it talks about the pyramid structure. And Louvre Brown represents the end of the noble. And this is like what says, but he also talks about it in Da Vinci Code. And then it says the purpose of the stones of the Israelites, what were they used for? Joshua leads the 12 tribes to remove the boulders from the riverbed, and they erect the promised land, the place that is called Gilgal. The 12 stones of the Jordan were memorial of God's love and miraculous assistance, because she's guiding us into the promised land. Brothers and sisters, it's in there. And then it talks the breastplate of the Jewish high priest. Aaron was the first high priest of the temple of Jerusalem. To the worn, which is the breastplate, several centuries before Christ, later worn by the high priest, that he presented the holy place in the name of the children of Israel. But in the names of the children of Israel, the stones where breastplate appeared as one, at least of the gems in the Bible. In Ezekiel 28:13, in Revelations 21:19, and Exodus 28:17-20, the list of the 12 foundation stones. It authorized the list, and of course it's called 1 jasper, sardius, 2 is citrine, quartz, topaz, 3 is emerald, 4 is ruby, carbuncle, 5 is lapis, luz, sapphire, the 6 is the rock of crystal, diamond, the 7 is the golden sapphire, ligure, and 8 is sapphire, agate. The 9 is amethyst, it was just number 10. And it goes with the name, right? It says the stone, but you also have a name, all right? And it's in the Bible. Yellow jasper is chrysolite. 11 is golden beryl, onyx. And then it talks about chrysoprase. I'm not too good in the names. It's in jasper, but I'll post them on there, right? And it says the Hebrew names of these 12 stones. It's Odem, Pitdah, Berakath, Nophen, sapphire, which is not too good in the pronunciation. I don't know how to speak Hebrew, but I'm going to learn. And then it says the 6th one is called Yahalam. The 7th one is Lesam. 8 is Shebo. 9 is Ahalam. And 10 is Tyrish. 11 is Shalom. 12 is Yasaphem, also called Aaron's breastplate in the high. That's what your names are. And it also has it in Revelation 21-7. It's in there. It's all in there. So let's go to Revelation 12, 1 through 7. Revelation 12, 1 through 7. I saw a new heaven. Are you listening? You're on your way to the promised light with your children. Children, stop fighting. Stop fighting each other. This is lands and states and cities and vineyards that belong to you. And she's removing people that are sitting there, but you're not listening. You're fighting the person that's just trying to get you into the land flowing with milk and honey. My mission is to finish and get you there. And it'll say it is finished. She will say when it is finished. Remember how it says Jesus on the cross and he said that is finished? His mission for the darkness finished. Our mission hasn't. It's in Revelation, and I'm about to read that to you. When we get there, then it is finished. Do you get it? But it's almost like they copied a lot and made it into the story to fit it in here. So when you read it, you think, okay, well, that's what God is saying. That's when he finished. No, his finished for the darkness, and it tells you that. It's in there. Revelation 21, 1. I saw the new heaven, the new earth, for the first heaven, the first earth has passed away, and there was no more sea, because she's parting the sea to get you home. And I, John, saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared for the bride to adorn for her husband. I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. Of course, remember, they put men, and I got to back it up. That's congregation is woman. This is it. The daughters of stones that I said is precious stones. She sees you as precious stones, you and your children's children. And then those are your names. Those are your names. But you see how we don't know it. Say if I'm married, but in there is, I'm just saying this. Say in there is Ahamalah. I'm just making up a name, just looking in here. You know, we don't know that, right? Because that's how she named you. She always names that. But it's daughters, and it tells you that. When I went in there to do research on this one, it tells you it's phantom. But of course, you get the enemy. And you do not believe this, but it's true, sisters. But it's in here. It's no lie. It's in here. Now it says, I heard the great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men. It's women. That he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And God himself shall be with them, and I'll be their God. And God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and they shall be no more death, neither sorrow, no crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for former things had passed away. But he sat upon the throne and said, behold, I make all things new. He said unto me, write this in words, and true and faithful. He said unto them, it is done, that I am the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the ending, and gave unto him the authors of the foundation of the water of life freely. She's a water covenant. He that overcometh, he will inherit the things, and it will be his God. I will be his God, and he shall be. And of course, it says son, but we all know it's daughters, right? Okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Okay, I have to read the rest of it so I could get to the stones. And I do have enough time. Worst case, I'll just keep going. And it tells you how to enter. She's a water covenant. That the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers, whoremongers, sorcerers, idolaters, and liars shall not be their part of the lake, and they shall be burned in fire, the brimstone, which is the second death. There come unto me the seven angels, which they had seven vials full of the seven plagues. They talked with me, saying, come hither, I will show the bride and the lamb, right? Real quick. You're also known as the pearl gates. It's you. It's daughters. And he carried me away in the spirit with a great high mountain, showed me the great city of the holy Jerusalem, descended out of heaven of God, having the glory of God. Her light was like unto the stones, most precious, even like jasper stone, clear as crystal. You're known as precious stone. They had the wall of the great high, the 12 gates, and the gates of the 12 angels. The names that were written there were the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. You get it? I'm going to stop right there because I'm running out of time, but I'm going to highlight that there, and we'll go from there. And then we'll do part 2. I still got so much more. And I got Bible verses to back it up. I'm telling you, stop fighting No sin, no sin. Stay by yourself. Being by yourself is not bad. Stop letting them fool you, because no man is going to come and save you but you and getting you to the promised land. No sin, no sin. And say, I do not want to sin against you. Please remove the counterfeits out of my life. And it's bringing you back into the land flowing